Hello, everyone. I'm very excited to be here today to share with you what we've just finished inside the program. We've just done a 2 week workshop on the art of negotiation, and it has been amazing. So, I wanted to do this video to share with all of you about the process, what we have done, what we have learned, and you're going to get a lot of information here that can help you in your life, right? In your career, in your business, and in your life in general. Because negotiation, well, let's start here. Let's start, and maybe you don't know what negotiation means. So we'll start with that. Okay, we're going to share with you here in this video the key. And there really is a very important key that most people are missing here when it comes to negotiating. But what is negotiating? Well, we can look at Oxford, right? And the definition that Oxford gives us is a discussion aimed at reaching an agreement. Okay, I think this is a good definition for. It's a good starting point. It's not the best, but it's when you discuss with someone and you want to reach an agreement. That's what a negotiation is, right? And for all of you, you may have different ideas in your head as we start this video about negotiation, what it means to you. But in this video, we're going to cover a few things, okay? And I'm going to shed some light on exactly how you can negotiate and how you can master this really important skill. This really is valuable to all areas of your life. For example, we finished the workshop yesterday, and some of my students, Moy, said that usually when I negotiate in my business, I don't know how to start. After doing this workshop, I feel confident going into any negotiation. I can adapt it to my daily life and my work. Then AMP, another one of the students inside the program, said, now I understand that there doesn't have to be a loser in negotiations. I finally know how to get a win-win result, and I'm already improving my relationships. Agatha from Poland said, I negotiate daily in my job, and now I have a clear way to make sure I understand the other party and we can reach the best solution, right? I'm going to be sharing with you how you can do that here today, so stick around. And finally, Apple said that after learning this process, I realized that now we are negotiating every day, and this is such an important skill for my life. Now I have a process in my head and I feel confident to go into negotiations in any situation. All right, so we had our last meeting. We finished off the workshop yesterday, and this was the feedback that the students had about the workshop, and they really genuinely now feel ready to go into negotiations. So let me share with you here what we have done. This video, we're going to talk about some useful language that you need for negotiations in English. We're going to talk about the big mistake that everybody believes, this misconception about negotiations. We're going to talk about the secret, the the thing that most people don't realize, and the big mistake, how they avoid the big mistake. They do the opposite. Okay, what is this secret? I'm going to share with you here. And I'm also going to share with you the steps of how you can negotiate in English and reach a successful outcome. So inside the full program, this is what we do, right? We focus on real skills that you need to be successful in business and in life. Okay, we have a variety of skills inside the program, and this one is called the art of negotiation. And basically, I'm going to change the way you look at negotiation here, and also I'm going to give you the steps. And we have, you need the language. So we have a set of expressions and language that you need to negotiate successfully in English. You need to be able to use if, different conditionals. You need to be able to confirm understanding. Okay, you need to be able to agree and disagree when in negotiations. You need to know how to move beyond a deadlock, right? A situation that it looks like you cannot go any further. It looks like you cannot agree. And then finally, the language you need for closing. So at the end of this short video today, I'm going to tell you how you can get access. This is a free PDF I'm offering to all of you here today. So I'll tell you how you can get access to this PDF at the end of this video. So stick around for that. And we're going to move on here now with the steps. So before we do, let me ask you to think here for a moment. Think and comment in the comments, okay? In what situations do you negotiate? Remember, negotiating means to have a discussion to reach an agreement with someone. So in what situations do you negotiate in your life? Think about this and write in the comments. Share your experience. What situations do you negotiate? Okay. And as Namfan is posting here or commenting here, if you want your name to appear on the screen, you can give StreamYard permission, right? That's StreamYard/Facebook, and then you'll have your name appear so we know who we're talking to here. We're live on the page, English for Success page. We're live on YouTube and we're live in our community. So it's only the people in the community on Facebook that can comment here and get involved with this discussion. Okay, that's where we're focused here today. Okay, so in what situations do you negotiate? This is what I want you to think about here at the start. In your life, what situations? Feel free to comment below this throughout the video. And most importantly, think about this yourself before we move forward. Okay. And that said, I think we have another question for you as well. So in what situations do you negotiate? And also, what do you think makes a good negotiator? A person who negotiates. Okay. What do you think makes it good? What are the important skills? What are the things that you need to be good at to have a successful negotiation? Okay. Share here in the comments and we are going to move on. We'll come back and check them later on. Okay. So we're here to give you a new tool to unlock possibilities. Okay, in your life, in your relationships, in your business, in your career. If you want to get a promotion or a raise, if you want to change your career, you want to go into a job interview, so many different situations. There is a tool that I'm going to give you here today that will allow you to unlock potential and possibilities. And basically, we're talking about asking for more. Right now, there's a lot of meaning in this title we're using here, inspired by the book, by the way, Ask for More. And the main concept, the main thing, if you get anything from this video today, I want you to realize this, that you get more value in negotiations by asking than you do from arguing. This is key. Right? Most people believe that they need to go into negotiations and they need to argue, they need to win, they need to persuade the other party to give them what they want. And this is the big mistake. Okay, the secret here is to ask, to get the information, get all the information you need. Okay, so it's all about asking. That's what this short training here is all about today. And the workshop we just finished inside the program, this was the key underlying message, right? You need to change the way you look at negotiating from telling, from persuading to asking. All right. And how are we going to do that? Well, think about negotiation as you're steering a relationship, right? You're steering a conversation in a relationship, right? This is what negotiation is all about. So you can imagine yourself in a kayak, right? This is what I say to my students. And you have to be paying attention to a lot of different things: the waves, the wind, the rocks, okay? And you're steering your way, you're steering this relationship. And how do you steer? What does steer mean? Steer means to point in the right direction, okay? You steer your kayak, you steer your car, okay? So you are steering a relationship. When we think of negotiations, we want to be thinking of building relationships, steering relationships. Okay. And you need information to steer with accuracy. Right. So if you're in a kayak, you need the information, you need to see the water, you need to see the waves, you need to feel the wind, you need to see the rocks. You need a lot of information to steer with accuracy. And that's the key. Okay. So you need to get as much information from the other person as you can. And how do you do that? Well, you ask questions, right? You know, that's the main thing in this video I'm here to tell you is that you're asking questions. And just to give you a little background here, I do a workshop with an activity with my students, okay, to test their questioning skills. Okay, so we're talking about asking not just any questions, right? We need to ask the right questions. We need to ask great questions. So at the start of these workshops on negotiation, I ask people to practice asking questions. And we have an activity called My Holiday, right? And this is an interview. And the idea here is you have to interview someone about their last holiday or a holiday that they have had. And the kinds of questions that I normally hear are, let me get my questions up here. So, when was your last holiday? What was your favorite holiday? Did you go by plane? How did you travel? What activities did you do? Who did you go with? How many people were there in your group? Did you drive? So these are, if you're talking about English skills, these are all correct questions. There's a problem with them though. These questions are all, what are they? What's the problem with all of these questions? Can you think? Who did you go with? Did you drive? How did you travel? If you are interviewing someone and if you're in a negotiation and your job, you understand now that the biggest thing you want to do is collect information from that person, then asking these style of questions is not the most efficient way of doing it. Basically, all of these questions are giving you one-word answers or very limited specific information. Okay, how did you travel? Who did you go with? Okay, you're going to get either yes, no answers or just one-word answers, very short, very limited information. So when you're asking questions, what you need to do is change the way you ask questions, change the way you gather information, change the type of questions you ask. So this is similar to fishing with a net as opposed to fishing with a line. The questions I told you about a minute ago: who did you go with? Did you fly? How did you travel? This is like you're fishing with a line, okay? Only one line, you're going to catch one fish, right? Or nothing at all. But when you fish with a net, you get an awful lot more than you intended, right? You get a lot of different fish. You may catch lots of different types. You may get some stuff you didn't want, right? But what you want to be doing is you want to be fishing with a net. And that means you're asking open questions, not just closed questions. So what is the most open question there is? I need to think about this for a moment, okay? What is the most open question you can ask someone? Any idea? The clue is that it does not have a question mark at the end. The most open question you can ask someone is, tell me. Okay? So if you go back to that activity, if you can think of your friend who is telling you about they told you they just had a holiday or their amazing holiday they went last year or whatever, and you want to get information, you could say, where did you go? Who did you go with? How did you travel? And you'll get very specific, short, one-word answers. Or you could say, tell me about your last holiday. Imagine if someone told you, they went to India, and you said, tell me about that holiday. And then you stayed quiet. What information would you get? They may say to you, it was amazing. It was so surprising. It's not what I expected at all. I was very surprised with the heat. It made me feel very tired during the day. They may talk about the food, the different spices. They could tell you about a meditation retreat that they joined that changed the way they look at the world. You've no idea the kind of information you're going to collect by using this question. Tell me. And that's the type of questions you want to be using in negotiations. Okay, you want to really open up, you want to fish with a net. That's the key. So in negotiations, basically in our workshop inside the program, we realize that there are two parts to a negotiation. Okay, and most people, when they think about negotiations, when they prepare for a negotiation, they think about, okay, I'm going to go in, this is what I'm going to say, this is what I'm going to ask for. If it's for a promotion or a raise, I want to get $10,000 extra a year. Why do I want that? They're planning along this way. Basically, you're starting your planning far too late. The first step in negotiating is the negotiation that you have with yourself. So what you need to do is you need to see negotiation as a two-step process. Negotiation number one is with yourself. And that's what you saw, the image there is called the mirror. Okay, the mirror is getting clear on yourself. This is the first stage in any negotiation, and you have to take some time. You have to sit down with yourself and you have to ask yourself some questions. Remember, the key here for negotiating is asking questions. Okay, you get more from asking than you do from arguing. So what we share with our students are 10 questions that you need for a negotiation, 10 key questions. And this comes from experts who have been mediators, who have done thousands of negotiations and a lot of research, and it's all boiled down to 10 key questions. 5 questions you ask yourself before the negotiation, because you need to get clear on yourself. You need to be clear about what exactly you want and what are your concerns, and a few different aspects here. So we give our students 5 key questions in the section of the mirror that they need to take some time to sit down and to ask themselves these questions, okay, to get really clear on yourself. Now, I'm not going to go into these questions here in this video. Today, I'm just giving you the overview of the whole process, okay? After you have spent the time asking yourself these questions and getting clear on yourself, then it's time to look at the actual negotiation with the other party, right? The other person we call the other party, and that's called the window. And that is getting clear on them, on the other party, okay? And again, you have 5 questions, right? As we discovered in the workshop, negotiating in any language is a very complicated process, okay? There are a lot of things that you need to have in your head. There are a lot of things you need to do. So what we need to do is simplify it, bring it down to the simple, the most critical steps. And we have 5 questions that you need to ask the other person to get completely clear about their situation. So then you can steer the relationship, you can steer the discussion, and you can come to the best solution for both parties. It's not, most negotiations shouldn't be seen as a competition. where one party wins and the other party loses. This is not the way we should be looking at negotiation. We want to collaborate. We want to work together to find a solution, an agreement where we both win. That's the goal. So we have section 1, as you saw before, is the mirror, and section 2 is the window. And we give our students, again, 5 key questions that they need to ask in any negotiation to be clear about the other person and what they need and what they're concerned about, so they can find the best answer. And this is the key. This is how you do it. Okay, so we put a lot of time into preparing. We worked on the language, which I'm going to share with you now in a couple of minutes. And then we have a workshop. Remember, what you need to be doing if you want to be fluent, if you want to be confident communicating in English so you can be successful, you need to practice these skills in English. The way we think about it is you're creating a new identity in English. Right? So most people that contact me in their native language, they can do these things, but when they start to communicate in English, their confidence drops a little bit. So what you need to be doing is practicing these skills that you need in English. Okay, so we have a workshop, and in the workshop we do role plays. We discuss a lot of these issues. We help people get clear on their on themselves for negotiations, but most importantly we have the role play. And what we did was, with the students, we have two different characters with their own backgrounds, with their own needs and their own concerns. And when we do this role play, it's a very enlightening process, because it really helps us understand that we have no idea about the other people. We believe as human beings, we're terrible at listening. Okay, so one of the keys, this is the main skill in negotiating, is to listen. Use advanced listening skills, and you have to really listen to the other person. How do you listen? You ask those amazing open questions and give them the chance to speak to you, to tell you everything. And you know, in the role play situations that we do, it really highlights that you believe that you know their situation. In this situation, we have a HR manager and her deputy or her assistant, right? And the HR manager believes that her assistant is not focused. He's distracted. She doesn't trust him with more responsibilities. But he has his own story, and it's quite different to what the manager thinks. So for this negotiation to be successful, if the manager comes and starts telling what she believes, what she thinks, what she wants, what she needs, then the assistant is going to block, and they're not going to be able to negotiate, right? So what we discovered in the role play is, by asking questions, by listening to the other person, one of our students says to put yourself in their shoes. That's what you have to do. You have to ask these questions. Okay, so this works extremely well. You got the feedback at the start of this video. Some of the students that did the role play, they said things like, you know, now they can improve their relationships in their lives. Now they have a clear process in their head of how to go into any negotiation with confidence. And this is how you do it, right? So first of all, you need to have the language, which I'm going to share with you now. Let's talk about that. So the language, the useful language, as I said before, you need to be adept at using conditionals. If is very important, right? If you do this, then I'll do this. All right, this is part of negotiating language. Then confirming understanding. Critical to confirm understanding, because when you listen to someone else, you hear through your own filters of your own experience and your own judgments, and many different things are going on. But we are, as I said before, we're all terrible listeners as human beings. So what you need to do is you need to confirm your understanding, summarize what you have heard, and then ask them for feedback, right? So you need the language to confirm your understanding. Obviously, you need language for agreeing and disagreeing, moving beyond the deadlock, and closing. So We have this useful language sheet that we share with our students inside the program. I'd like to share it with all of you as well. If you want this, you can comment useful language below, and we will get someone to send that out to you. You can get that. I'd love if it helped you in some way and helped you to feel more confident going into negotiations. So that's what you need. You need the useful language. You need to understand the key and the big mistake, as we spoke about before. The key is that you get more from listening than you do from arguing. So it's your job to ask questions, ask great questions, ask open questions, and use advanced listening skills. Okay. Then you need to, right, you have the list of questions. We haven't gone really into here. I don't have time to go into the specific questions. And then the most important thing is the practice. Okay, you need to get practice doing these skills in English. So that is what I came here to share with you all today. It is an extremely important skill in all of our daily lives, in private life and professional life, and it is the art of negotiation. That's just an overview. I hope it was helpful for you. I hope it gave you some insight. I hope it inspired you. Comment below if there's anything you got from this short video here today. If you're looking, as always, if you're looking for a place to practice these important skills and you want to join the full program, you can comment below here. There's a link with this video for English Fluency Secrets, the website. You can contact us there. You can book a 15-minute clarity call with me. I'll help you get clear about your goals, and we'll decide if we're a good match. Then we can book in a longer call to talk about how we can work together, and perhaps bringing you into the full program, and you can start working on all of these skills, mastering these skills, and speaking English with confidence. That's it for today. That's negotiating. It's an extremely important skill. I really encourage you to master this skill, because once you can negotiate, then you can make things happen. You can have more successful business deals. You can have a more successful career. You can have better relationships. It affects every area of your life. Enjoy negotiating, enjoy practicing, and I'll see you all soon.